How you doing? You're just in time. It's just us today for the after show. I was reading a lot of the comments at wendyshow.com. Most of you guys do not like when I have a guest on the after show. You just like it to be me and you. Please don't be selfish like that. You know, when I was making my transition from radio to television, there were a lot of my radio Wendy listeners who were like, we don't want to share you with everybody else. They're not going to get it. You know, we hate to say it, but we hope your TV show fails so that you're here with us. You've got to allow for growth and expansion. The after show, believe me, my friends, and I so appreciate you guys watching the after show. P.S. Not that many people even know that the after show is here. So, you know, I'm trying to grow that audience, but in with doing that, I like to talk to my bloggers. I like to invite them in. So we don't have a guest today, but we do have a guest tomorrow. So everybody be on their best behavior and don't complain. I don't just talk to the guests. I talk to you too. I love that you're selfish. You're like an only child. So selfish. I get it though. Can you believe that when I was transitioning from radio to TV? There's a big giant opportunity and people were like, we hate it and we hope it doesn't work. I'm like, what? It was love expressed through selfishness. Do you want to see these earrings that I got while I was in British Virgin Islands? This lady gave them to me, blue topaz. I love these. First of all, if it's free, it's for me. Yeah, I never get tired of freebies. I like today's show a lot, you know, hot topics. I mean, what are you going to say? What are you going to say about these stars? I thought last night's Housewives was absolutely, positively perfect. Last night's Housewife reunion was so perfect without fighting and without people walking off. See, I'm thinking in my work mind and yours too that we need to see wig pulling, fighting, and red faces in order to really enjoy a reunion, but we don't. I mean, I know like the A-List is having part 2 of their reunion tonight, and you know, I host the A-List reunion. And if there's one thing that I was saying that was missing out of the A-List reunion, it's that everybody was so damn controlled. Everybody needed to take a drink or 5. You know, Rankin didn't drink, none of them drank, and so everybody was really controlled and poised, and there weren't any aha moments, but it was fun to do it. I love Jennifer Holliday. I thought she gave it up. She signed a picture to me. It says, "My dear friend Wendy, thank you and your staff for showing me so much love and hospitality. I will cherish this forever." And I believe it. You know, it never really occurred to me until today when we were talking that if I had time to cultivate friendship at this particular point, I'd want to cultivate a friendship with her. Let me tell you why. She wouldn't be my let's go to the club friend. She wouldn't even be my girl, you know, I got a bottle of The Prisoner, come on over. There's this red wine called The Prisoner that I really love. She would be my, you know what, Jen? I just finished with the show, I'm still in the city, let's run for lunch. And let's go see The Help. She'd be my girlfriend to go see girl movies with. Because right now, when there's a girl movie, I have to catch it when I can. And I usually end up going by myself because most of the girls that I know live in Manhattan. And when I'm in movie mode, and they're working. See, they're working a 9 to 5. But I like Jennifer Holliday a whole lot. That performance, I couldn't help crying. And no, I'm not on my period. But you know, and then the ugly faces, yeah! She gave it up. Really good conversation. She was talking about how Jennifer Hudson never came and asked her for any advice regarding the role of Effie. But you know what? I think that happens across the board more often than we think, that people who preceded us sometimes don't thank us or give it up to us. That's happened with her. That's one of the things that I love about my radio career is that I still get a chance to go around and go to radio stations when I promote the talk show, and there's young girls every place. I do have to say, young girls following behind me in radio do give it up, you know, and it never makes me feel old, but you know, it's because of you I got into radio, or you know, what advice could you give me regarding this or that. I love that, and I love that this week I'll be able to give it up to Tyra Banks. You know, I've given it up regarding talk shows to Ricky Lake and Phil Donahue. And, you know, I love to give it up to the legends. Sally Jesse Raphael, heck, Geraldo. I've never had a chance to thank Oprah, but I would love to be able to thank her. We didn't do Ask Wendy today, but you know, I do go and mingle in the audience during commercials and things like that. And there was a girl today who, she admired my wedding ring. And then she said, you know, Wendy, I wanted to ask you. She said, I've been married, you know, I just got married and I want to know how to keep it spicy. Well, you know, everybody keeps it spicy their own ways. But I asked her, I said, well, how old are you? Because she looked really young. She said, I'm 24. And I got ready to tell her, you know, well, that's really young to be married. Just do your best. Don't have kids right away. And before I could even get it out, she said, we already have 2 kids. I was like, oh, God. I said, well, I don't really have any advice. But except for good luck, keep your waist tight. Of course, a man was going to do what a man is going to do regardless of that. But it makes you feel good when you have to walk away knowing that you're ready for the next man. You know, keep your waist tight. My mom and dad and I had a conversation. They betrayed me many, many years ago. I wasn't cooking dinner. You know, I was busy with a new baby, a career, and you know, just tired. And my husband and I got into it over food, and it wouldn't just be a once in a while thing. It'd be a regular thing, you know, like I'd order Chinese food or I'd order pizza or tell him to grab a sandwich or something like that. And I called my parents one day crying, and I was like, you know, Kevin and I, you know, we had a fight about food. And I don't share my fights because I'm grown. I don't share my fights with friends, family, or anybody. But on this particular day, I shared my fights, or this one with my mother and father. And they said, my father said to me, Wendy, cook for your husband. And my mom explained to me that, you know, I need to know how to make at least a few things. And she will, every time they come up to Jersey from Florida, put things in the freezer for me. Well, that was 10 years ago easily. And I cook 3 times a week. And I'm not telling you I burn up the stove like I make it, you know, Sloppy Joe's, as far as I'm concerned, is a home cooked meal if it's organic beef, you know, and I add my little stank onto the manwich sauce and the buns are fresh or the bread is fresh or whatever. That's a home cooked meal. That's as home cooked as the meatloaf that I made last night. So I'm not a great cook, but I did tell her, I said, keep your waist tight and cook for your family. But in actuality, you know, getting married at 24 is totally out of the question in my mind. And having children at the same time, I'm like, girl, please. And then another woman asked me today, I'll be done in a moment. I know I'm giving you a bonus in your after showage. Another woman asked me where to find a man. Well, this is all during a 2-minute commercial break on the Wendy Show. I'm like, girl. But I get asked that a lot. And my answer is pretty consistent. You've got to be open to love, you know, be open to love. It doesn't mean you have to walk out of the house with a full face of makeup every day or, you know, the baddest outfit or something like that. But you've got to be open to love, you know, have clear eyes, make eye contact. I mean, I met my husband in a very unlikely place. I was hosting a children's party at a roller rink, and he was there checking out the DJ because, among other things that he was doing at that time, he was throwing parties. You know, I told him, will you give me my number? And then I didn't call him until like 3 days later. I forgot all about it. I was cleaning out a bag. But you have to be open to love. And eye contact and a smile always does it. And also, you know something else? You can't, this is just me. You can't be a dating snob. You know, he thought that he was going out with me and I was just a big mouth girl from the radio. And I thought that he was just, you know, a hustler, you know, because I always liked a hustler, but I never pictured myself marrying one. I always pictured myself marrying a Barack. My son has black men broken up in categories. Like my dad is a Martin, Bill Cosby's a Martin Luther King, a Barack, that would be my brother-in-law and my brother, and then a Jay-Z, like my husband's a Jay-Z, so he has them broken down like that. But I thought I'd marry a Barack. That's how I was raised. So, you know, you never know where love is going to come, and you have to be open to it. So let me start packing up my stuff. And you have yourself a great remainder of the day. It's faux fur.